There's a massive shift happening right now for anyone creating things online. It's quiet, it's not flashy, and honestly, almost no one is talking about it. See, for the last decade or so, the entire internet ran on one currency: attention. Well, that era, it's over.
Yeah, you heard that right. The whole system that rewarded views, reach, and going viral above everything else, it has collapsed. For years, the game was simple. If you could get eyeballs, you had leverage, you had a business. But the ground has completely shifted from under our feet. And that leads us to the big question, right? If attention isn't the prize anymore, what is? In this new landscape, what currency actually matters? Okay, let's dive in and figure this out.
First up, we've got to understand the old model, the one that's failing, because for a long, long time, it really felt like the only game in town.
I mean, the logic was super simple. More views meant more leverage. More reach meant more revenue. And if you went viral, that created all kinds of opportunities. And hey, back when the platforms were young and it wasn't so crowded, this model actually worked incredibly well for a lot of people. But here's the thing. Even before the whole AI revolution, the system was starting to crack. The competition just exploded. Ad rates started to drop, the algorithms became totally unpredictable, and creators were suddenly at the mercy of platforms they had zero control over. We started seeing people with hundreds of thousands of followers who were somehow still struggling to make a living. The foundation was already crumbling.
So the system was already fragile. And then, boom, along came the knockout punch, the catalyst that changed the value of information forever.
Now, check this out, because the speed of this change is just breathtaking. Look at this number, 100 million. That's how many monthly users a single AI tool, ChatGPT, picked up in only 2 months. 2.
And this really puts it into perspective because it's wild. It took radio nearly 40 years to reach that many people, television 13 years. Even the internet itself took 4 years to get there. AI did it in a matter of weeks. This wasn't an evolution, it was an absolute explosion. So what does this all mean? Well, it fundamentally broke the old value equation. Today, basic information isn't scarce anymore. It's a commodity. It's free. You can ask an AI how to start a business or how to lose 10 pounds, and you'll get a perfect, technically correct answer in seconds. You don't need a course or a guru for that anymore. Okay, so if basic information is basically free now, what isn't? And that's where the new economy really begins. As that world of attention collapses, something way more durable, something much more valuable is rising up to take its place. This table just lays it out perfectly. The old economy was all about chasing virality, and your main asset was views. The new economy, it's about earning trust, and your main asset is proof. We're moving away from the influencer, whose strategy was to just be everywhere, to the knowledge creator, whose strategy is to be incredibly precise. So what exactly is a knowledge creator? Well, we're talking about people with deep, hard-earned expertise. They aren't just selling information you could find online. They're selling earned insight. They teach the stuff that you can't Google. And this is crucial. Their value isn't tied to some random algorithm. It actually compounds over time. And this brings us right to the core asset in this whole new economy. It's not about what you know from reading a book. It's about what you know from actually living it. And I love this quote because it just nails the idea perfectly. There are people who have studies, and then there are people who have scars. Someone with studies learns by reading or watching something. They're basically just regurgitating information, which means they are in direct competition with Google and AI. And that's a tough game to win. But someone with scars, they learned by doing it, by messing up, by paying for their mistakes. And when you share that lived experience, you have absolutely no competition. Let's make this super concrete with an example. Say you ask an AI how to open a pizzeria. It'll give you great information, the what. It'll tell you all about profit margins and menus, but what it can't tell you is the how. It can't teach you how to build a system to survive a crazy Friday night rush or how to handle a supplier who just bailed on you. Those are experience problems, not information problems. Okay, so how do you actually operate and thrive in this new credibility economy? Well, the rules are completely different, and honestly, they're a little counterintuitive. We have to get inside the market's mindset right now. We are in a full-blown trust recession. People are smarter, they're more discerning. They've heard all the promises a million times. They've seen the flashy cars and the rented jets, and they know that the whole fast, effortless results thing isn't real. The audience has learned to protect itself. And this leads to a powerful new mantra that might sound a little strange at first, but it's spot on. Boring is the new viral.
Now, this doesn't mean your stuff should actually be dull. It's about shifting from making high-noise content to high-signal content. High noise is all about chasing trends to get a huge but passive audience, which leads to short-term attention. High signal, on the other hand, is about focusing on deep, niche expertise. You might get fewer views, sure, but those viewers are deeply engaged, and that leads to long-term trust. The goal is no longer to be interesting to everyone, but to be incredibly useful to a select few. So if you take one thing away, let it be this. We live in a world where basic information is totally free and everywhere. But trust? Trust is incredibly rare, and it's getting rarer by the day. And that means your specific hard-earned lived experience has never, ever been more valuable.
Which really brings it all back to you. The market is absolutely starving for real, trusted guidance. So the question isn't about what information you can share, it's about what wisdom you've earned. What are the scars you have that are more valuable than any search result could ever be?